and we have to start with plum tomatoes. So once you have them, either out of your garden, or you've gone to the farmer's market, or you're just getting them out of the grocery store, I cut them in half. Then you have to get the skins soft on these. So there's two ways to do this. Fill a pot of water, bring it to a boil, throw in all the tomatoes, and let them kind of cook until the skins begin to shrivel. That's going to take you about 5-10 minutes. Then you drain them. When it's cool enough to handle, you peel off all those skins. Big, big process. Here's an easier way. Cut the tomatoes in half, I put them in a bowl, and then I stick them in the microwave for about 4 minutes. Depends on what power your microwave is on. Those skins will shrink very easily, and you've eliminated that whole boiling step. So here they are. They are shriveled, shrunken up, and now we're going to pass them. That's where the name comes from. Passata means to pass. And I have my little passata machine here, you see? So what you do is you take the tomatoes, a little bit at a time that are softened, and you put them right into the machine. And then you pass them. And you turn. Now, if you didn't have something like this, you could use a Foley food mill. Pureed tomato juice. Now, what are we going to do with this? Well, this is going to become the foundation for our Sunday sauce. Step 1. Step 2 is next. So why exactly is this sauce called Sunday sauce? Well, I'm going to tell you. Probably a lot of you already know. This is a sauce that you made either on Saturday, some did, or you made on Sunday before you went to church. Everybody would come for Sunday dinner. You know, there are many, many variations on this. Some people put hard-boiled eggs in, some people put olives in. I am putting in herbs and cheese. So there is our garlic and parsley mixture. So here we have top round steak. You want to make sure that you're getting top round so that it's thinly sliced. So then I usually take either a piece of wax paper or plastic wrap like this, and you just want to pound it down a little bit with your meat pounder. See? This is a weighted meat pounder, just to get it all the same thickness. So here is some salt. And now we're going to add the parsley mixture over the top. Okay. As I say, you could add hard-boiled eggs, you could add olives to this, whatever you'd like. And once we have that, we can take some of this prosciutto di Parma and place it over the meat, like so. And then we want to give this some cheese. And the cheese that we're using today is Pecorino Romano cheese. So sheep's milk cheese, it's a harder cheese, it's a little saltier cheese, a little fattier cheese. This is the cheese that a lot of Italian Americans grew up with. All right, so we now have our 2 braciole, and we need some kitchen string. So you start at one end, make sure everything is compact, and you roll this up. Roll it up. And every time I do this, I really think of my Nonna Galasso, who made this every weekend. So you roll them up. And let me pat that one down a little bit. And this, of course, is going to be our second course. We're not going to serve this with the pasta, because we're also going to have pasta. This becomes your second course. So then you want to tie these little bundles with some kitchen string tightly, because you have to brown these now in a little bit of olive oil. So you don't want all that filling to fall out either. So get them tightly tied. Okay, what we're going to do now is get some onions soft in a little bit of olive oil. So you want a little extra virgin olive oil in a pan. So once the onion is a little bit soft, then I squeeze in, this is the fun part, oh, a good tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste. That's going to add great flavor. The onions are now well coated, so we can take them out. You can add garlic to this if you want, minced garlic, when you're doing the onions and the tomato paste. We also have garlic in the brajol, so depending on how much garlic you like, you can either add it with the onions or you can rely on the garlic that's already in your brajol. So once we take this out, now we can brown the meat. We can add back the onions carefully. In they go. Spread them around a little bit. This is going to be a really hearty sauce. So now we have the passata. Remember what I always tell you. Always pour sauce over a spoon. That way it doesn't splatter you. But you can see how thick the passata is. And you need enough to cover the meat. So probably half of this one too. Oops, there we go. That one's a little thinner, huh? Must have been the tomatoes. But anyway, we got enough in there. This is about 8 cups, I would say. All right, then with that, we need some fresh basil. So 2 nice sprigs of basil. We need some salt. And you may want to correct this later on. We need a little sugar for the acid in the tomatoes. Although a lot of people leave it out, my grandmother always put it in, so I'm putting it in honor of her. In goes the sugar, a grinding of pepper, and if you happen to have any red wine left over, you can add that too. Gives added flavor. So now while this is cooking, and it's going to take several hours, we're going to make the meatballs. So what are we going to use for our meatball mixture? Well, here you go. There are so many variants on this. Some people only use beef. Some people use beef and pork. Some people use beef, pork, and veal. Today we're using beef and pork, ½ pound of each. So let's give it some pepper. And there is a science to making a good meatball that isn't dry. I love my mother's meatballs because they've got such a great velvety texture. Here's some salt. We want an egg. Let me add that. And I like to bake the meatballs. A lot of people like to fry them. Some people put them in the sauce raw. I mean, there are just so many variations. Onion. Garlic, how much you like, a piacere, whatever you think. Flat leaf Italian parsley is a must in meatballs. Again, pecorino romano cheese. And then we want the breadcrumbs. This is the secret, folks. First of all, you got to start with breadcrumbs that you made yourself. Nothing from a box is going to equal what you have done, just with stale bread. And now, clean hands. You get in there and you make your meatball mixture. Did I say that I like to bake these? So if you're baking them, I usually put them on a non-stick baking sheet. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Take a clump and round them.